welcome back to the channel. My name is Cynthia, and today we are going to have the long awaited talk about weight loss, my progress, and everything that's happened in 2021. So, as I'm sure you guys have all noticed, I am still fat. And I know using that word is like kind of negative and all that stuff, but I'm just realistically saying it like it is. And the thing is that for my height, I'm 5 feet. I should be between 97 to 127 pounds based on like the generic bullshit healthy BMI calculator. I'm in the 160s, probably like 165, like still floating around there. So I'm still over 30 pounds above the highest range of that number. So to me, I know I'm still fat. So like saying that doesn't make me feel, well, I mean, I still feel like shit about it in general, but we're going to talk more about it. I have been wanting to film this video, and I've just been thinking about it over and over in my head about like how I want to word this and like what I want to say. And yeah, let's see if I get emotional about it. I feel like emotions tingling in me as I talk about this, and I think I'm just disappointed in myself. So I'm just gonna recompose. Yeah, so basically what it is okay, you can tell based on like how I'm like looking away that like this is really uncomfortable for me. But the thing is, I think I just have to say it because I really want a fresh start for the new year. And that doesn't mean that we're gonna do something drastic in the new year or anything like that, but it's just looking at it from a different perspective. So I think part of the problem that's been happening right now is I keep comparing myself to the old me when I lost a lot of weight. And so I'm thinking about Cynthia when I was at like the peak of my fitness, and that was only a couple years ago. And when I was at the peak of my fitness is when I started this YouTube channel. And I'm sure you can see that there's a correlation between how often I'm uploading videos right now and how confident I feel in myself. And so that's one problem that I'm trying to work on. But overall, I think what's happening is I'm feeling really disappointed in myself. And I think I feel really ashamed, embarrassed, like so many different words that I can tell you. And I basically just feel like whenever I go to the gym again, for example, I feel like everyone is onto me and they know that I've gained all this weight, and I just feel like a loser. I basically just feel like a loser because it's like if I got to such a successful point in my weight loss, I mean, I was still a little bit away from my goal weight, but if I was so happy with this weight loss, then like why didn't I keep going? Like why did I stop? Obviously there's the reasons like the pandemic and all that stuff, because I would say like I was at the peak of my fitness in the summer of 2019. I was maintaining it until like say November, December, and then around after the holidays I kind of like didn't go to the gym consistently. In February of 2020 I went on a vacation, and March 2020 the pandemic happened. And even when I was going on the vacation in February, I still felt that like I was falling off the healthy bandwagon. Instead of like having more discipline and more motivation because I was going on a vacation, I felt like immense amount of pressure, and I basically just crumbled and was like whatever. And I didn't feel as confident at my trip, and that was probably like in the 140s, and I would say like I was at the like peak of my fitness around the like low 130s with muscle and stuff, and now I'm at around 165. So basically I've gained about maybe say 35 plus pounds, which I've already talked about, and I haven't lost much of it at all. I basically haven't lost anything. And so what kills me is that like last year, the last week of December, I basically used that week to get my weekly averages, and my weekly average was 165.5. And although I haven't been tracking my weight very consistently, I think I did for the first part of this year, maybe for the first 6 months, and here and there I still do it sporadically, and I still have all the data and all that stuff. I basically have maintained the same average. I almost don't even think I had one day where I was in the 159, like not even 159. I wasn't in the 150s at all, you know what I mean? And even in the low 160s, I think like maybe the first month of January, when I was doing the Bon Manzea challenge and everything, I think I saw low 160s, and then at a point I was working out with one of my friends, but nothing was consistent and nothing was long term. And I think what it comes down to is, again, what I was saying earlier, is that I'm just feeling really shitty about myself. What I think it is that like most of these times when I'm working out is I keep telling myself like it's okay, like you can just do it, like do it for a couple months, and like you'll be back to wearing your old clothes, you'll be back to like feeling confident, and you'll be back to your old self like in no time. And so I keep feeling like I'm climbing this ladder, but the ladder keeps extending and extending and extending, and I'm not doing well at all. You know what I mean? And so I think because I'm doing it out of a place of hate, like I'm just mad, I'm disappointed, I feel like a loser, and I also think maybe like I'm losing confidence in myself and the ability to actually do this. The thing is, even though I say that, I know logically that anybody can lose weight. And I know in life, like you go up and down, you go up and down. Like if I was pregnant and I was pregnant for 9 months and I was carrying a child, and then postpartum I had a baby and all that stuff, I would have weight that I gained. At that time, I would not be mad at myself, or I would at least hope I'm not mad at myself, because I just produced a baby out of my body and it's normal to gain weight. And so similarly, I understand that there's different reasons why I've gained weight, whether it's not taking care of my body, not going to the gym, a pandemic that the whole world experienced, like whatever it is. I know that there's reasons why I haven't done this, and like it's okay. Even if it's been 2 years, even if people have called me fat, or even if I think people are calling me fat or think I've gained weight, like who the fuck cares? Like that's what it really comes down to. And I think part of why that's so hard to just say and accept is because for me, like there's nobody that can be meaner to me than myself. And I know I'm getting emotional about this because I really am like a dick to myself. And so like I remember the first time I went to the gym, I had canceled my gym membership because I'm like, it's okay, I'm gonna go like at home, we have a gym and all that stuff. So I'm like, it's okay, I'm gonna work out at home and it's all gonna be okay. And I didn't. So then eventually I'm like, okay, I got a new job in Mississauga. So I'm like, it's okay to go back to my old gym. And so I signed up. And I remember the first 2 days, I think it was the second day that I went to the gym, I literally came home, like as I was driving home, I was just crying in the car. I just felt like such a loser. And the fact that I'm still crying about it is because it's seriously like so deep in my heart, like how many years I've been such a dick to myself. And the thing is, as much as I can say, like it's fine, Cynthia, this is all in your head, there have been so many moments in my life where family, friends, significant others, or even people that you just don't expect to be mean to you or say these things to you, say like your deepest insecurity about yourself. For example, parents or moms, like I've talked about it before in our community, like a lot of aunts, uncles, people like to comment on your weight, and whether you are too skinny, too fat, like there's always a comment on it. And so like there'll be a day where I'm like, okay, you know what, Cynthia, today's the day, I'm gonna be confident in myself, like it's okay, like you've gained weight, like self-love, you're gonna love yourself for who you are, and of course you're gonna work on continuing to be healthy, but like right now, like you're not gonna pick your body apart, you're not gonna be mean to yourself, you're not gonna say anything, and if you have nothing nice to say, you're gonna just be quiet, like you're just gonna be neutral. So that's like, gave myself this pep talk, I'm ready to go. I come downstairs and like you'll see somebody or like my mom being like, oh, like, you know, you gained weight, right? Like, you know, you gained weight. And like that takes like every single thing that you've told yourself and like destroys it. And that's the thing, like when it's your deepest insecurity and then you tell yourself like, no, it's not true, no one's actually thinking that about you, and then someone says that to you and someone close to you, even if they mean it out of a place of love, because that's the thing, I do think my mom genuinely means it out of a place of love, and like she doesn't want me to be unhappy and all that stuff, but it's those people when they say it to you that it hurts the most. So I don't have an answer for that one yet because obviously you can see I'm still affected by it. But what I'm basically trying to say is this journey of self-love, going to the gym and all that stuff, like you really have to do this for you. And for you to like be successful in it is, first of all, you have to quiet out the noise that the other people are saying to you, okay? And I understand that's hard, especially if you live with people or if you're significant other or people you respect a lot are saying that to you. Like you have to understand that like, I mean, I'm saying all this to you and I don't even fucking believe it. Like, I don't know what the answer to that is. Like, as much as I can sit here and tell you, I can tell my parents or I can tell this person or I can tell that person, like, hey, please don't talk to me about weight. Like, I'm still going to think that. Like, the trust is already almost gone and, like, I basically am going to think that. But it's also almost bullshit because the people that are, like, commenting on your weight, like, are still probably going to comment even when you're at the fittest and tell you there's something else wrong about you. So I guess it comes to a point where you have to basically just accept yourself for who you are and like really value your opinion first. Like if I tell myself like I'm a badass bitch and I really believe that like with all my heart, and of course in the beginning it's not going to be like, you know, it's like the saying of fake it till I make it. Like until I really believe it, it's going to be hard to overcome other people's opinions about me. Thinking about what other people think about you is probably like your first downhill move, you know what I mean? But I guess that's so normal, especially when we have like social media and all these things and you think your body has to be perfect. Like that's the thing, like when I see other people, or even if I see like if I see other people that are overweight, I'm not looking at them being like, oh my god, she's so ugly, she's never gonna get a boyfriend, she's never gonna do this, she's never gonna do that. Like I don't think that, you know what I mean? So why do I say that about myself? Like why am I literally looking at every single thing about my body and only looking at the negative ones? You know what I mean? Like I can tell you 10 things, like even right now I'm like, oh my god, my arms are so fat. Like even yesterday I went shopping with my cousin and I went to Winners, I tried on all these things and I'm like, oh my god, like I look like a pregnant person. Even like I have 2 vlogs that are like in motion kind of thing, and I was like getting ready to edit it. I was putting it on my like computer, uploading the footage, and I just saw footage of myself at the gym working out, which is like me bettering myself, and like I saw how I looked and I'm like, oh my god, you look like shit. And like literally it's what prompted me to do this video, because I've just been in bed all day just on my phone, not doing anything of what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm just feeling like shit about myself. Basically that's a long-winded way of basically saying like I don't feel good about myself. And I thought like as the end of the year is coming, like I've kind of just been like you know what, Cynthia, we have to approach this differently. Like, you can't compare yourself to 2019-year-old Cynthia. Do this for yourself. Like, you can't do this for a guy. You can't do this for your parents. You can't do this for anybody but yourself. So if that means that this whole year or since 2019, you have not been ready to be on the weight loss grind, then fuck it. Who cares? Like, let it go. I almost wish I let it go earlier so that I didn't have to have all this guilt, because all I've done this whole year is basically feel like shit that I haven't done anything about weight loss, and I feel like I'm disappointing to like everybody around me. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, I can only do my own journey for myself, and that is what it is. And wholeheartedly, I believe that when I do this, when I start doing this for myself, and when I really like think back about why I'm doing this, like, I want to be healthier, I want my lungs to work well, I want to be able to do cardio, I want to be able to like run with my kids in the future, I want to be able to bend down and be able to pick them up, I want to be able to like be an athlete, I want to do things I've never done before, like rock climbing or do gymnastics and things like that. Like, when I look at it like that, instead of looking at it like, oh, I want to look hot so I can like prove this person wrong, or I want to look hot so whatever, like whatever it may be, like, I think first of all, like, finding reasons that are not like materialistic, which of course, one of the reasons I want to do this so badly is like fitting into all my old clothes. Like, I love all the clothes that I had, and like, to me, like, I just don't want to throw them away. You know what I mean? And so I put them into a box, I put it away. I said, oh, it's okay. Like, you're going to lose weight and you'll be able to fit into these clothes in no time. And that put a lot of pressure on myself, because I'm like, it's not working. I'm still 25 pounds heavier. And when I do put on clothes that somewhat fit, as in it stretches, I still feel like shit. And I feel like I'm fucking like squeezed into a can of sardines. You know what I mean? And I feel like bulgy everywhere, and it doesn't work. What happened in the middle of summer is I finally was just like, fuck it. Like, I think it was literally in August, and I'm like, let me just go shopping and buy new clothes, which obviously is scary when I'm already feeling like shit about myself. And I'm trying on all these sizes. I don't even know what size I am. And like, most stores don't have clothes for petite sizes like in person. And so you're already trying something that probably doesn't look good, probably needs to be altered anyways. And it's very like demoralizing for your self-esteem when I'm already in a shitty place. You know what I mean? However, when you do find clothes that fit you, like actually fit you comfortably, you don't like feel rolls on you when you're sitting down, like you're not trying to fit into a size 8 when you're a size 10 now, like whatever it may be, like it brings your confidence up so much. And obviously I know it's not sustainable to keep buying clothes, especially if I'm continuously on an upward scale of gaining weight. I also think at the same time, like there's other ways to do it, like thrifting, not throwing away your clothes when you are fat, like whatever it is. I think finding clothes that fit you makes a really big difference in your confidence, because that's gonna just want you to continue to be healthy and like go after what you want to do, versus like, I feel like shit about myself when I put on clothes, I feel shit. Like, it's just a cycle of feeling like shit. You know what I mean? And that doesn't help me want to go to the gym. I don't work on this like negative motivation. It doesn't work like that. Like, I need to be happy and do it from a place of like happiness versus a place of guilt and disappointment and embarrassment and shame and all that stuff. The second thing I think is helpful is not trying to do something just because you did it in the past. So for example, I think I've had a lot of success with my weight loss when I was tracking macros and I was going to the gym regularly. And even when I was going to the gym regularly, I was doing like a solid workout routine. I was lifting weights, I was doing cardio, I was doing Stairmaster, I was doing this, I was doing that. Like, I was fucking like amazing. All-star of the year, gymnast of the year, you know what I mean? But obviously right now, that's way beyond my means. Like, if I get to the gym, that's a fucking miracle. I really don't even know the last time that I went to the gym. I think what that means is, if weightlifting is too overwhelming for me right now, then something as simple as going for a walk is more than enough. And I think it's very easy to go into that extreme all or nothing mentality of being like, okay, I've been a couch potato for the last 6 months, and now tomorrow I'm going to become a triathlon athlete, and I'm going to go swim, I'm going to go running, and I'm going to go whatever the hell the last thing is, all in 1 week, like all in one day, all in the same hour, for fuck's sake. Like, you know what I mean? And so I am such a fucking extremist. Like, I literally am such an extremist, and I'm trying to tell myself, like, chill, breathe, chill. Like, first of all, if you've been eating like chocolate every single day, maybe instead of having like a whole chocolate bar, you can have a couple pieces of chocolate bar and have some other vegetables while you're eating. You know what I mean? Or if you're drinking 6 Coronas a day, how about you have 6 gallons of water a day and maybe 1 Corona instead? Not 6 gallons of water a day, but 1 gallon of water a day. You know what I mean? Like, instead of going into like, I haven't tracked anything that I put into my body, and now I'm going to hit my macros exactly. I'm going to have 1,500 calories and I'm going to be perfect. Like, that is so bullshit. And like, come 3 days after that, and the first thing that stresses me out, like, I'm going to go back to my old routines. So I think, as much as I want to like sit here and be like, maybe I should hire a trainer, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, and like maybe I'm going to get motivation like that, like, I honestly think like starting real fucking slow and like just starting to build that routine and habits. Like, and I know I keep talking about that all year, but I still think like I haven't come to a place of doing it like out of self-love. I've been still doing it out of a place of like, I have to do this, like I just have to. And things, I don't have to do anything. Like, I can just stop right now and accept who I am as I am. I'm gonna work on that. One of my number one priorities this time around when I go on my health journey again is like loving myself from where I am today and continuing to love myself. Because one of the like puzzling things for me too is like, I genuinely, even when I was at my skinniest, like only now looking back at pictures, I'm like, am I like, wow, like you really did lose a lot of weight back in the day, Cynthia. But back then I didn't feel like that. I was still critiquing my body. And I think that's part of the reason why I didn't appreciate like how far I've come and like maintain that. You know what I mean? So I think that's one thing like I'm really going to work on is like loving my body in every stage that it's at and like not being mean to myself. Like even as I'm here right now in probably the heaviest that I've been in a really long time, I think ever in my life, and I've been maintaining it for a very long time, like I need to still be like, Cynthia, you look fucking bomb. Like your hair is nice, like your smile is beautiful, and you're an awesome person. Some questionable based on who you ask, but you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be about your body, and whatever it is, like just find things about yourself that you love. And honestly, if you love nothing about yourself, then fuck it. Fake it until you make it. Like, honestly speaking. Another thing that I'm working on is like looking at myself every day naked and like just staring at myself. And I know some people will go the opposite approach and like not look at mirrors at all, but I want to look at myself and be like, you know what? Every single role that you have, every single part of your body that you have is amazing. Like you think it's amazing, not because someone else thinks it's amazing. Even now, like people that will say like your body looks amazing as is, and I love it, I appreciate it, but I want to come to a point where I don't care what anybody else thinks about my body except me. I think I'm amazing. That's it. I don't want people to tell me I'm awesome and I lost so much weight, and I don't want people to tell me that I'm a loser and I gained so much weight. Like I just want people to be neutral and like maybe don't even comment on my body at all. Which I know is hard because in this society, like, you want to know, like, what did you do? Like, how did you lose that weight? Like, oh my God, like, you look so amazing now. You know what I mean? And I just, that's like a whole different ballgame of what we have to figure out. But those are some things. And the other thing I was going to say is if I right now can't even do like, for example, I really do enjoy doing squats. I do enjoy doing some strength training. But when I think about doing like a whole full out workout, like doing 4 sets of something, doing like 5 different exercises, doing 15 minutes of cardio, doing a warm up set, doing booty exercises and this and that, like and all that stuff. I'm like, bro, like I barely can do a squat set right now. And you want me to do like an hour and a half routine? Like that's not happening. That's literally not happening. So start with small steps of what you think is feasible for you at this time and place and move up from there. If that means I do like only squats, even 1 set of squats, or even 1 squat every day for a week, and then I'm like, okay, you know what, this is great, I'm gonna move on, I'm kind of getting bored of this, then that's what I'll do. Or even trying something new like rock climbing. That's gonna be one of the vlogs that I have. I tried rock climbing and it's really fun, and I'm realizing that I'm really scared of heights, but that's a different way for me to work on my arms, which is one of the things that I always say, like my upper body is so weak, I want my arms to get small. Like these are different ways that I can work out that doesn't have to be like the most optimal way of losing weight, right? Like how about instead of the most optimal, what's the most sustainable, right? Even tracking calories. I know tracking calories is not sustainable for my whole life. However, I do think I still don't have an accurate understanding of like what 5 ounces of chicken is or what this is or what that is. I think eventually I want to come to a point where I don't have to track calories at all. And right now I would say when I do decide to like, you know, getting back into the routine, I'm going to start with just making food at home. Home cooked meals like how you saw in my last vlog, making salads or guesstimating. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be extreme in the beginning, and maybe when I hit a plateau I'll be like, okay, time to start tracking calories. I love having data. I love having information to reflect on. I like even to see like in the past, like what did I do? I literally had to look back and be like, what did I do that like worked? And honestly, it's just being consistent for a long period of time. That's it. Like consistent for a long period of time. And honestly, it's really not even that long. It just these changes, but you have to be in the right mindset. I can't do this because Bob and Billy down the street are like saying you got fat, like you need to lose some weight. Like that's not gonna help me. That's gonna make me do the opposite thing, right? I have to do this for me. And the last point I want to say is find an environment that works for you to do all these things. So for me, for example, I told myself, like, I canceled my gym membership when we moved to Milton, and I was like, okay, I'm going to work out in the gym, and it was around winter time, and it was cold. I was only able to work out in the morning because of, like, my schedule and all that stuff, and, like, it was not happening, right? And eventually, like, a couple months later, I finally signed up for the gym again, and I like the idea of, like, having other people that are, like, struggling with me at the gym, like, working out. Obviously, there's some stuff I have to work on in terms of feeling like everyone, like, is, like, judging me and feels like shit, like, all that stuff, but I honestly think like having a workout place where like even having somewhere where I can do accessory movements, it's not even that challenging, it's not hard, but you're still doing something, I think that is also helpful too. And then lastly, it's just being kind to yourself and like really understanding like why you're doing this, and like one step further is still one step ahead. You know what I mean? Like even if you think you're going at a slow pace, one of the things that I'm notorious for is, again, being an extremist, wanting to do everything fast, and being impatient as fuck. Like if you're really trying to change your life, like if you're really trying to like stop going from like drinking every single day to like walking every day, or instead of like being a couch potato or sitting at your desk for 8 hours and like being outside for 4, or like doing physical activity every day, like that's going to take a lot of change, and it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of adjustment. So expecting yourself from going to 0 to 100 in like 2 days, like that's not realistic, right? And even expecting myself to like not have negative thoughts about myself just because I told myself like today's going to be the day you stop, like that's not going to happen either, right? It's going to take time for me to feel confident. It's going to take time for me to get back into the groove of things, and it's going to take time for me to accept where I am. Obviously you would think like after a year and a half I've accepted it, but I think I've just been in denial about it. Like it's crazy, because the other part of me too is like I feel like for the first part of when I started gaining weight, like I genuinely did not feel like I was gaining weight at the rapid pace that I was. I just, maybe because we were in the pandemic and I wasn't wearing like all my old work clothes or whatever it was, like I wasn't wearing jeans, we weren't going out, like I was just wearing sweatpants that are already stretchy. Like I don't know what it was, but I genuinely did not feel that I was like so overweight. I don't know. I genuinely didn't think so. I thought I looked good. I thought I looked fine. And it was only until I started putting on clothes and like seeing that, and I'm like, oh my God, like you're so fat. And then I started checking my weight, and like, I'm not saying that the weight or the scale is what triggered me. That's really not it. But it was just like really looking at how much I've changed, how much my body composition has changed since stopping working out, since stopping eating healthy, since stopping doing so many things, like even just moving my body, right? You went from going to the gym all the time to running around, doing errands, to like doing zero activity. Of course there's going to be change. So I don't mean to end this on a depressing note. I don't. I just wanted to say like this is just genuinely how I feel right now, and I feel a bit better that we talked about it. I'm hoping that slowly we're going to get back into the groove of things. We're going to try different things. I'm going to force myself to accept where I am, not be mean to myself. And if I see myself like a video when I'm uploading, I feel fat, or I feel ugly, or I feel whatever I feel, or I feel that the world is judging me and they know that I'm fat, it is what it is. It's a phase of my life. Like I am at this point in my life right now, and it's only temporary. And even if it's for another 3 years, so much can change after that, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like this is just one phase of my life. This is one point of my journey in my hopefully 80 years of living. And if that takes me like 4 years of me to be like this, for me to have a healthy lifestyle after, to like come to terms with my body, to love myself, then I'm okay with that. Like it's okay. I'll take the L right now, or I'll take the downtime right now, and we'll say my body's under construction, and I guarantee you like I'm going to be at the best shape of my life like after this. I really honestly believe it, and that's why I'm okay to take this whole time that I've taken. I don't care. It's all good, and we're gonna get through this. So if you're feeling like this, if you feel like the holidays are scary, or if you feel like January's coming and it's another year where you're making the same resolutions, please don't feel bad. Don't be hard on yourself. I think like be honest, have a talk with yourself, maybe do some journaling. I've been doing lots of journaling. There's a lot of brain dumps, and just, you know, take it one day at a time. We got this, okay? We got this. Mwah. See you in the next one.